Harvey, it's great to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for this. I kept wondering if sweetening the pot in a bail offer with no more money and just an offer not to see girls was going to make a whiff of difference to a federal judge.
You know, I got to say, there was somebody in my office today in our morning meeting who actually made a really interesting point. She said, if you have to tell a judge, I swear I won't be around women, that in itself should be enough to deny bail.
Yeah, and I have been thinking as well why the money wasn't boosted. I mean, look, $50 million is it's not chump change. But for a guy who's professed to be a billionaire, why didn't he leverage more? Why didn't he do more? Why didn't he offer more?
Ashleigh, I don't think it's a money thing. I think this has to do, and not even so much a flight risk. I think it more has to do with allegations that he has tried to influence and even threaten witnesses. Again, those are allegations by the U.S. attorney. But if the judge buys into that, and it seems like the judge has, then however much money you put up is inconsequential. The real issue is he trying to rig the trial? And the U.S. attorney is saying yes.
And obviously, these are the kinds of charges where that does typically happen. Not that it doesn't happen in other cases and murders, et cetera, but when you're dealing with sex crimes, it is so pervasive that witnesses can be intimidated and often do drop out of cases and become less willing to cooperate and perhaps testify. Can I ask you about that? Like how, for lack of a better description, how effed is he?
Well, I mean, Ashleigh, you and I were around during the O.J. Simpson trial. I stopped answering that question because I thought O.J. was plenty F, and he wasn't. So you never know. And as you know, the prosecution's case is strongest the day it's filed because you don't hear the defense. So I don't know. I mean, you know, one of the things that's very clear is that they're going to argue that a lot of this was consensual. They're going to argue that the freak-offs were consensual, that the drug use was consensual. I think they're going to have a huge problem with the Cassie video. But I think this is going to be a deny defense.
And for a lot of people who maybe, you know, they think they're familiar with hip hop culture because they might see an awards show and maybe some music videos. Maybe people have always sort of assumed that there are these freaky parties that go on. And maybe in their minds, that's what they can be told in a courtroom, that sure, freaky parties are everywhere. And this was no different. But the difference in this case is the witnesses and the number of people who filed civil complaints that all seem to line up with the same kind of narrative.
Yeah, and you know, the civil cases will be put on hold during the criminal trial, I'm sure. But these witnesses can definitely go to court. There is no doubt in my mind that the main star witness for the prosecution is Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, who he beat horribly at the Century Plaza Hotel in 2016. But there were going to be a lot of other women as well, and men. And I think the volume is going to be very difficult for him to overcome.
So let's talk about that. I'm curious about the people who are around him, the closest to him, those executives, those security team members, those minions, the people, the housekeepers that were listed in the indictment, unnamed, who I think right now are shaking in their boots if they haven't already been paraded in and out of the U.S. Attorney's Office. How many of those people do you think are so loyal to Diddy they might go down with the ship? And how many of them do you think are singing like canaries?
Well, I mean, look, we have seen how many cases where somebody is on the line and they flip. And that's what the U.S. attorney is going to do. I have no doubt about that, that there are people who have got to be nervous right now. Remember, I mean, they say that this was like a mafia organization that operated for 18 years. Diddy was the sun around which 1,000 celebrities circle. and big celebrities. So I don't think it's just housekeepers and security guards. Who else attended these parties? And I think that may be a reason why Hollywood has been so silent, that they often speak out. I mean, with Harvey Weinstein, everybody talked.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.